thought I'd do a very quick update video on Dotty. I haven't touched it, largely because I've been fanning about with the diesel, ready for the NEC show, but now that's over, I'm going to try and get on with this as well at the same time as the diesel. Might not be practical. This is that massive hole that I unearthed last time. There's my shoe. It looks scary, but it's not, because the sill and the inner sill are both outwardly perfect. That flange is really good, both sides. Down here, don't know if you can see that, but that's all solid. Hopefully this weekend I'm picking up a whole section of metal that'll go all the way across there. It's actually a boot floor chop, so somebody else has already taken the boot floor section out, but it'll include all of the underside of where the seat goes, then all the way down here to that heel board area that I replaced on the blue one with the fuel tank mounts. So I should be able to chop the car all the way along that line, right the way across to the other side, and then put it in as one big lump, and then weld some new floors down on top. So what looks big and scary should actually be quite a simple, quick fix. The other reason I came down is we've had a period of dry weather, and the car miraculously has dried out, probably for the first time in about 15 years. So while it's dry, I'm going to shove that tarpaulin over the top, and hopefully it'll stay that way. I'm also still very curious about this engine. So I haven't started that, I haven't done anything with it, but it's suspiciously clean. And I don't know whether I reported this last time, when I took that oil filler cap off and you look inside, it's crystal clear. Like usually these V8s breathe a lot, and in here it'll be black and crappy, but in there you can just see the top of a very shiny rocker cover, or sorry, rocker shaft, rocker arm. So hopefully in there we have a nice surprise. So I'm going to whip a cam cover off and have a look. Okay, this is getting very interesting. I've just taken off the intake elbow, opened up the airbox, expecting to find knackered old paper filters, and we have got a pair of K&N high flow performance air filters. There's the other one in there. Right, this is interesting because most people, when they fit these, they just do the dumb thing and bolt them straight on here, which is crap, because you lose the hot air, cold air filtering system for cold start up, because in here you've got a bimetallic strip. When the engine is cold, it like when you first start it up, that strip moves to this side and blanks off the cold air intake, and it just sucks hot air straight out from the manifold to help it warm up easier. Then when that strip's warmed up, it goes this side and just draws cold air for more power from that side. So whoever installed these knew what they were doing, because they kept all the original Rover airbox. The other very, very interesting thing is somebody has polished or ported the inlet tract to the carb. When you lift the float up, you can see the, oh sorry, not the float, the needle there. There's no shitty old fuel residue on there. This will all need to be stripped and cleaned out because there's loads of crap in there and like oil residue, so it's been breathing a bit, but not too bad. So I'm going to continue excavating. These are not your cheap crappy HT leads either. They're Lucas Silicon speed lead, so that bodes well, because somebody obviously did things correctly and spent some money on it. So although I know this engine is an original to the car, they've taken the trouble to put heat paint on the exhaust manifolds and locking tabs as well, like the original. So yeah, this was quite a fastidious previous owner who knew what he was doing. Got my first look inside the engine. That is very, very clean. The V8s are usually, you know, completely covered in crap in here. They're all Rover original cast alloy rocker arms. I can't see anything that's not obviously non-standard. I mean, it all looks standard is what I'm trying to say. All the push rods look normal. There's no additional drillings or anything. Sometimes people make... maybe that's not right. Yeah, sometimes people put additional drillings in and stuff, or change the rocker pads or steel shafts or something, aftermarket ones, but that all looks standard. What doesn't look standard, and is confusing me slightly, is that, because it's in the heater hose system, and then these lines run up through the bulkhead. So there's one that goes into that inner wing. That one, where does it go? It goes to the washer jets. No idea. It looks like someone's got hot water going to their washer jets. Bizarre, but I'll work out what's going on later, I think. Right, I've got to go back to the office, so I'm going to put it all back together again. Oh, the other thing to note, Bosch platin spark plugs. No idea whether they're performance ones or not, so I'll Google it when I get back. Another weird discovery. The spark plugs are only in, or two of them only in, finger tight. No idea why. Three of them, that is, finger tight. That's odd. They've definitely been torqued up before, because the compression ring is a little bit crushed. But not by a lot. Really confused now. That one I've just undone, finger tight again. That compression ring doesn't look like it's ever been done up. And they're Bosch Platinums. So someone's been spending money, and it doesn't look like they've ever done the spark plugs up. So either it's been put together and never run, or they just changed the plugs and hadn't torqued them down. But either way, a bit weird. Certainly ain't the prettiest, but at least it's now, well, semi-waterproof. I'm off back to work. This is the result of my shopping trip up to my mate Phil's in Essex. We have well, it's not complete, but this is the sort of rear middle section of the floor pan out of an SD1. New old stock, never been fitted. Phil bought it because it came with the actual boot floor section that went in there. He's unpicked that for one of his restorations, but he had the rest of this going spare. So I've had it off him for 50 quid. And it's a hell of a lot of metal for 50 quid. But from that last video, it's probably going to be part of this series. That bit is missing. On the diesel, I had to remake that using bits of inner seal. These are the mounts for the fuel tank, but basically I can just chop these bits out and then go straight into Dotty, and then all I need to do is make the flat floor sections that go in there, which should be quite easy. So I'm very happy, because that's going to save a lot of time and effort. These bits are the longitudinal rear sort of, they're not chassis rails, but they go right through, like from the suspension spring mounts all the way through to the rear lamp panel, and these are the holes that the rear bumpers bolt on. So when you get a car that's been rear-ended, generally that bit's all bent and bodged about, so they're worth having. I had to chop them off just to get it in the car. And then we have a front offside headlamp, and the reflector's good, because the one on Dotty at the moment, that side is all rusty and horrible. Just needs a little bit of paint in a couple of places just to tidy it up. And then this is a door top finisher, which I've picked up from my friend John, who sold me a few bits and pieces. Series 1 and Series 2 are different, not a lot of people realise, but Series 1 goes all the way to the front and has a formed end on it, because they're little wing mirrors, whereas Series 2 are the big wing mirrors, they just got cut off here, so this bit isn't there. So Series 1 are pretty hard to find. So yeah, I'm slowly getting together pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. I won't really get involved with that car, Dotty, until I've finished the diesel and got it MOT'd. But hopefully once that's MOT'd, I'll crack on with Dotty